Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of building a mobile app, a React Native mobile app to be called in the morning and be woken up by an AI voice rather than, for example, a boring alarm clock or a song from Spotify or any other app. That's the idea. Of course, you're gonna be able to select when you want to be called. At the moment, we're just gonna be doing it that the app starts when you get a notification at that specific time, and that's how the call will start. Of course, you'll be able to select the voice you wanna be called by the AI. OpenAI, we're going to use OpenAI because it seems the easiest one to use to do this app. Of course, you could be able to customize the message. So for example, you want to be woken up with hello, good morning, and today is Thursday the 19th and it's sunny outside and it's a great day for you to look for jobs. And apply or whatever you want to be motivated and reminded of. You can write a specific message, you can write a very basic one, and ChatGPT basically will improve that message, and if you want it can be different every day. So that's the idea. And yeah, because I don't want to pay for everybody's calls for free, or put a waiting list, or maybe even though that's another idea. I want to figure out how to do credits, and specifically I want to use Shopify to have this kind of credits here. So I want it on the top right of the app, we'll have a little credits indicator saying you have 5 credits, 5 calls that you can receive, let's say 5 times, and then you press that button and you can earn and you can top up with Apple Pay, Google Pay. I think there's also Samsung Pay. So yeah, that would be cool to learn how to do that. The Stripe top up, we're gonna have a backend built in TypeScript. I kind of already set up things to work. Here we're going to have a Next.js landing page and API router for the same. We're going to have authentication using Supabase, and of course Supabase is our backend. Feel free to watch some of the first 2. The second video I would say is the best one I go through a little bit of what I was trying to do, which technologies I picked. Of course, everything that you see is on GitHub. So it's call me please. There's a link on the description so you can follow there. I'm gonna improve a little bit and add a bit more information on how to set up yourself if you wanna build this locally and learn as we go. Hopefully this won't take me more than 2 to 3 days. Hopefully by Christmas we'll have an app at least that works locally, and if all goes well we even have it in the App Store. Just as a quick side note, we are using Expo. Expo is an easy way to develop mobile applications, and if I go to the main website, so Expo and EAS, Expo Application Systems. I always forget what is EAS. Every time I do a live stream I forget. Expo Application Services, it's a way to deploy your app on the App Store, build it in the cloud, and deploy it without having you to manually deploy every time for any small change that you make or bug fix. And it's really, really interesting. It's used by a lot of people. Oh, even Blue Sky looks like it's built on top of Expo. That's interesting. Pizza Hut, I guess if you like Pizza Hut, then Pizza Hut developers, and then you can trust them. You can trust Expo. Now they have file-based routing, which is what I am using. I got a little trouble with tabs and a little quirks that I couldn't figure out initially, but we got around that, thankfully. You can also create a very simple app yourself and run it locally. There's an Expo Go mobile app that you can download from the Apple Store or Android Store or Google Play Store to be able to demo the app. If you ever want to show the app to a friend before going to the whole thing of getting your app reviewed by Apple or paying, I think now you have to pay Google Play Store fee. Well, there's a service fee, like if you want to sell things inside of your app. I think that is 15%. But what I'm trying to find is for developers. Yeah, it's a $25 fee to open a Google developer account, so it's not per app and it's not per year. Pretty sure Apple Store developer fee, it's $99 per year. So every time if you have an app or multiple apps, you have to pay this. Any company has to pay, I think, the same amount. On Google Play, you pay once. I guess it's just to make sure, these are real accounts and real people and not just spam bots publishing apps every time or cloning apps or making, crypto apps that are just exploiting people. Yeah, it has fast refresh like React, and this is mostly thanks to React Native, not really Expo. Expo is just kind of a wrapper with a lot of functionality around and easy of development. Yeah, you can use a lot of the native code, even though, as you can see, this is my Expo app folder. Normally, you have an iOS folder with the code and as well as the Android folder. But even though if I go here, first of all, see everything is blurry because it's not committed or not, it's actually ignored by Git. So you're not saving these files in your repository. And I don't even know why they are here. Normally you don't even see them. Maybe I added, I probably added something like a splash screen or some native module and it then added all of this. But generally you never touch this when you're using Expo. If you want to customize more your mobile application that uses React Native, then it's probably better just to use React Native itself. And it's a great time to start mobile apps and learn about mobile app development with React Native, because they made a huge re-architecture of basically how React Native actually works and how it shows native modules, native components, and uses actually, the underlying iOS or Android code. People call them primitives. It's just a fancy word that you actually uses, native code. It doesn't run all. is not like the opposite of this. Of React Native would be Ionic or some web view, basically a website that shows on your mobile app. So Ionic would be ionic.com. I don't even know. This is an old. It's not fair to say an old. It's actually being actively maintained, and people do use this. It works with Angular, React, and Vue.js. I don't know if this is the most important thing, but it's an easy way to make simple mobile apps, especially nowadays with mobile phones being so quick and so responsive. Like you write, pretty sure you write, well, you write React code, Angular code, and there's a web view or a browser that runs inside of your app. So then for simple apps, you know, maybe it's a business app, an internal app, but a lot of the things they do also have native code. So the difference between, you can Google a better definition of the difference between Ionic framework and React Native, but they are all, everybody is concerned about performance. Of course, the best performance is going to be native. If you really are concerned about performance, maybe it's a game, maybe it's a very complex app, maybe there's a map, there's some 3D going on. You know, I don't think, I mean, you can do an MVP using Ionic or React Native, but most likely you are going to end up developing two apps, one in iOS Swift and one in Android Kotlin. So yeah, so there's a different options. I've used this before they added React functionality, but all of, oh no, it's a screenshot, but it's really popular on GitHub. It has pretty good documentation. You can, yeah, they've been doing it for quite a long time. I wonder if they have somebody, because everybody asks about this. What is the difference between React Native and Ionic? No, they don't wanna mention either. Even not even on their blog. Yeah, of course, I forgot the other alternative, which is getting popularity, is Flutter. So Flutter is I guess framework, yeah, developed by Google, built on a programming language called Dart. I would like to show you the code, but you can Google Flutter example code or Flutter hello world, and you'll see how it looks different from normal React code. So the good thing about React Native, in my opinion, is that if you are a React developer and you know about components and how they work, how you pass props, you know, kind of the syntax of React, then using React Native should be very familiar to you. You have, you know, just components from a library called React Native, which you need to use in order to render things on the app. Of course, it's not as simple as that, but it's one of the main things. And yeah, just last bit on this is that it works. If you build a React Native app, you can make it really, you know, multi-platform, and I think is the best multi-platform framework, technology, whatever there is. Because if you really want to make an app from one code base that is across, you know, Mac, Windows, Android, Apple, and the browser, it's gonna take you a long time. Or it's gonna, you know, you're always gonna have issues or differences. Different platforms support, I don't know, the camera, the GPS in different ways. So you're gonna have custom code for each platform for certain specific things, but it's one of the best ones. Of course, you don't have to use this if you know one of the specific languages, or you just want to make a React app. iOS, Android, etc. There's always more options, but it's a very good one to get to know and use if you know how to use React. Lets you create truly native app and doesn't compromise your user experiences. You know, there should be a little asterisk, but it provides a core set of platform agnostic native components that will map directly to the platform's native UI building blocks, which is exactly true. If you say text, it's going to use the native Android text component, which actually I don't even know what's it called. Android text Java API resource. Let's see if that is it even called text? Maybe it's called something text view. It's a widget, probably. Yeah, I think they call them widgets rather than components and things like that. So I believe, you know, we're not gonna. You're not gonna import all of this code in your React Native app, but when React Native uses a text component on Android, it's gonna say, hey, Android OS, use the text view widget, and that means it's the same thing as, well, almost the same thing as native Java or Kotlin app using that text view widget. It's not exactly the same, because if you want to go a little bit deeper, there is a JavaScript engine, like Chrome or any browser. It has some JavaScript engine running in the background, so whenever you run hello world, you know, something has to execute this code. So it's a similar kind of architecture, and it's, if you have code that says I want to run this code, the JavaScript engine runs that code and talks to the native platform code to hopefully use native code. Yeah, so it's really good. There's a huge community. There's a lot of example projects. The repository, it's, you know, it's been, I don't even know when they started. I want to say more than 5 years ago. It was really popular with Airbnb and other companies that started using it and making it more popular. I think parts of parts of the Instagram application and other meta apps are built on top of React Native. So definitely check it out. If you are new to React Native and even React, maybe start with a React web app and then try Expo, or you know, I'm sure there are some good tutorials as well on how to start your first Expo app. And yeah, Expo Services EAS allows you to build, submit, and update your app, get insights. Yeah, and I think it's for free. Actually, I don't even know. Do they charge you after a certain point? Okay, so you have 30 mobile builds per month. So basically one per day. That's not bad. It's rarely that you're gonna do more than 30 per day at the beginning, especially if you're 1 or 2 developers. And you can send updates to 1,000 monthly active users. And then, based on usage. And then you have to pay per CI minute, so continuous integration. So basically when you're building, you have to pay for the builds. about the updates? Okay, so then let's say you are next month you're gonna have 2,000 monthly active users. You have to pay per usage, right? Which is 2,500. So you have to pay. The next step, if you get from 1,000, which is free until 1,000, and you get 2,000, you're gonna have to start paying 10,000. What am I saying? $10 per month. But it doesn't ramp up like that. See, then it goes to 375 for the next. Oh, sorry. No, it stays at 5. I don't know how do you sell this until 200,000. So the maximum you're gonna pay at this is almost this. It's $1,000 per month. But if you're gonna have monthly active users of this number of this, if you have so many active users, I hope they are paying a little bit for the service that you're providing. There's some bandwidth costs, there's some storage costs if your app is very big, I suppose. But it's actually a very good service from the little bits I've tried. And just like for somebody who wants to understand a little bit, why should I use this, or is asking, should I use this and get stuck with them? What happens if they block my app or their services go down and I cannot send an update? Am I stuck? So not really. You have something called development build, if I'm not wrong. You need to install, oh, that's it, the Expo dev app, which I was asking myself yesterday. What is this Expo dev app? This is in order to make a development build, which is basically it just runs locally, right? But there's also this dev build in Bear React Native. So maybe this is what I'm thinking, but what I'm trying to say is that since you don't have the native code in your repository, how can you make a build yourself and manually deploy it to Google and Apple? So this is using EAS, but how do you do, it was called like export or local build. You can run an EAS build locally with a local flag. That's cool. So if I do this, would it run everything locally and make an app that I can run myself? Do I have EAS here? Yeah. So let's see if this works and what comes out of it exactly. It's a useful way to debug build failures that are happening on the cloud builds. So this is a debug build, as maybe you know or you will learn. When you make mobile apps, you can make a debug build or release build. And a debug build has more debugging capabilities, allows you to to see what happens if something crashes. So maybe it works. I'm not gonna do the build now because I'm trying to recover access to my Google Play Store account. So once I got that, I'll be able to specify sort of the organizational ID. But it seems you are responsible for making sure that all the environments are necessary and has all the necessary tools. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. So that's nice. Production build locally. That's what I'm trying to be really sure, because yeah, you also need a key that it's uploaded to Google Play Store. Okay, so it's actually pretty doable, but if it says, you know, put these files here and put these configurations here, how do I do that? If you're using CNG continuous native generation, run Expo pre-build to generate it. Oh, to generate the Android directory. Okay. So you're generating that directory. A single native project on its own is complicated to maintain, scale, and update. In a cross-platform app, you have multiple native projects that you must maintain and keep up to date with the latest operating system releases to avoid falling behind any third-party dependencies. As your native project grows, the complexity of third-party dependencies increases, complicating upgrades and slowing down developer momentum. This discourages adding advanced native functionality and leads to less powerful apps. To address this, we're introducing continuous native generation. Instead of creating native apps at a single time and maintaining customization, these projects are generating from a standard template plus configuration. The result is a native project that can be compiled. However, the developer is responsible, blah, blah, blah. That's good. So you do npx expo build, and I guess it generates iOS and Android folder. If you troubleshoot your app by compiling locally, you can use a pre-build to generate flash directories during the build process. In this scenario, add directories to the Git. I think I already have. Yeah, I mean it's in here. It's in the main Git ignore, but it is there. I thought you had to remove those. Maybe not. Yeah, it's good to have this information. Is Expo a requirement? Not at all. Pre-build. So what is called continuous native generation, and we got here by clicking on production local build. That's good. Yeah, so in theory you can just run everything locally after doing the pre-build. Once you have the local directories, for iOS and Android, and you have basically all the files in your repository, in your laptop, computer, then you are good to go. Yeah. So yeah, this is Expo. This is what we're building. This is what we're using to build this. Oh yeah, this is something I'm gonna try later on, but let's say you're beginning to work on React Native mobile apps, and you are trying to see, how do they work, how do they look like. Hello there. Does it work with the new line? No. Yeah, you probably have to. You cannot do BR because, of course, this is not HTML. So how would you do that? If I want to do that, it's a white. React Native white line, something around, because in CSS, if you wanna display in multiple lines a white space, then you can customize this in different ways. So you can say wrap, no wrap, normal, break spaces. So is there a white, what did I say? My memory is not really working right today. White space, white space wrap. Will that work? Let's have a look. White space. Oh, the thing I was showing you guys yesterday. So DevDocs. It's a great thing for both CSS. There's normal, wrap, pre-wrap. So it is that. So you should be able to do the white space functionality, wrap and new lines. This is exactly what I want to do. If you have a line of text that goes, you want to go over multiple lines, if its container or its size is small, I want it to go over 2 lines. By default, you don't need a specific declaration unless you're overriding another declaration. Pre-wrap and stuff like that. But pretty sure you had to include white space break on new lines. Maybe I'm thinking about word wrap, but it's a word wrap. instead of breaking. So that is, there we go. So yeah, if you have things by default, like here it won't, and especially you have no spaces, it just goes all in one line. If you say inline size, is that what is the difference between this and the one above? Oh no, you have overflow hidden. So if you have overflow hidden, if it goes, you know, over, the text goes over the its size of the box of the div, then it's gonna be yeah, hidden, the everything extra. If you wanna do inline size min content, it will size the content of the div to the size of the text. And then if you want to break long words, you say overflow wrap break word, and even if it's one single word, it will break that word up to that inline size. Alternatively, there is word break. So if you have word breaks and you want to break, you can break at the space, so between words, then you say break all. I think that's break at all word. Sorry, that's the opposite. If you want to just break, if you want to break up the word at any point when it hits kind of the end of that container, and then you use break all, it's going to break all the words as this was one big word. But if you don't want to do that, possibly, because see, first you say break word, and it's going to break at the last word that it can break, and then if it can't, then it actually will break the word, but most likely that doesn't really happen. You can add hyphens. Hyphens are these things for long words. Hyphens manual, overflow wrap. So this is a very good page from Mozilla, and all of these things should all work on React Native, because React Native generally, I believe, developed all of this following the CSS web standards. At least they try. So if I want to do that and break add a new line, how do I add a new line? I'm sure somebody else has searched for this. Add new line in text React Native. White space pre-line. So if I do pre-line, that doesn't seem to work for me. Would this work? There you go. So you have to pass a new line as an object, and in this case you can do a new line, and then I think I don't even need this new, yeah, so there you go. Yeah, so yeah, sorry, the way we got here is Expo snack. So if you have a simple app, you can run an app here, you can do demo applications. It will actually run an emulated iOS or Android in the cloud. Yeah, there's a queue because of course this is for free. I'm not even logged in, but you can select different phones, customize the font scaling. You know, when you go to the settings on your phone, you do that, and you know, to make the text larger, you can test how your app behaves, dark mode, etc. On Android is the same. You select a number of mobile phones, and of course you can use the Expo Go mobile app on your phone to scan this QR code and run this. And it's gonna connect to basically this browser. So that's really cool. And yeah. Oh, you can even embed the code somewhere. So if for some reason you are writing a blog post, or you want to put this little app somewhere in a website, you can copy and paste that code that I just... Oh, you need to first save the snack. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, snack.expo.dev is pretty useful. And yeah, there's a lot to explore, and you know, you can actually, I think, if you get really good at this, you can say I'm a React Native Expo developer, because there's so many things you can do. You can make apps really quickly. You can do things. You can you know, charge people. You can do a little digital agency, making mobile apps in your city or in your community. Everybody wants, well, maybe not as much as before, but everybody wanted to make mobile apps. Maybe now the trend is down, but everybody has a phone, so apps still are relevant. That's why we're making one, right? Talking about making one, we're going to continue making one. Yeah, this is just very quickly the mobile app kind of started that I used, or that I use some code from. Bolton New allows you to start new mainly web projects, but also I kind of tried to make it into a React Native app. Didn't really work because you can't run native stuff, especially because this runs slow, everything in your browser, but it just still generates useful code. So I will take some code from there. Thank you. What are we going to do today in practice? So we have the little app here that has a call me now button. And yesterday, what we were doing, it was sorry, that's the wrong app. Yeah, we were adding this use connection hook. So the idea is that when you press call me now, it actually works, and you get a call from OpenAI's voice. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna use LiveKit. As I said, this is the architectural diagram of how your mobile app will connect to their cloud, then to your backend, and then finally to OpenAI. Maybe in the future we can skip all of this and go directly to OpenAI, but you can customize a lot of more things using their system and their cloud. The only thing we're gonna try to fix here, or overcome, and we will overcome, it's the React Native functionality for these real-time calls, these voice calls, using WebRTC, real-time communication. This is the package that LiveKit has. This is the client that you also need to install. And while they have an Expo plugin, and it actually seems to work fine, the actual cool playground and demo application that they have It's playground.livekit.io. You can select kind of a prompt. It has all this configuration preset for you. You can select a voice from OpenAI, and you click connect and you start talking to the voice. So I was looking at their code to get some of that useful, nice code. And this is the room component. The room component, it's in our call now tab. So if I add this, it's gonna reload this use connection hook. This hook so far is I think exactly what's here. Can I ask Copilot about this now that Copilot is free? Oh, you can. Nice. Let me go, if I can. To dark mode. Doesn't go automatically. I'm gonna use dark reader then. Yeah, it's not their actual, yeah, that's okay. So we're gonna use connection hook to get, I should connect Boolean flag that will tell that will tell LiveKit if basically are we gonna connect or not. We're gonna do audio only. They support video actually, so if one day you want to do a video call, so look at FaceTime application for business, for cats, for whatever. Yeah, you actually can using LiveKit. We need the WS, this is the WebSocket URL. I think that's where our server is, so we're gonna have to spin up a quick Python server to do this. They pretty sure they have a TypeScript or JavaScript backend, but I guess their example code is using Python. Let me have just a quick look if there is. Yeah, real-time model AI agents with Node.js. So you can do that. You can use this. The same stacks powers advanced voice in ChatGPT. Check our guide. Yeah, so see, they are saying the SDK is in developer preview. For recommendation, for production, we recommend using the more mature version of this framework built with Python, which supports a large number of integrations. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the Python one. So once this is set up on Expo, I'm gonna create a new folder called Live Kit Python agent or Live Kit, or is it technically more a web RTC server? It's technically more that. Yes, we're using LiveKit. Yes, it's Python, but web RTC server is what actually it will be. We're going to use this agent. So let's add to our little to-do, which is actually more important than anything else. our start web RTC Python server using this example code. And I think you can deploy this on Vercel. You can deploy Python apps, but if not, we're gonna deploy on Vercel or fly.io. Fly.io is an easy way to deploy server applications. I think all of them have to be containers, Docker containers. So we'll hopefully be able to do that easily. As a question to myself, do they have a Docker example? Docker file example. There you go. So we'll be able to copy this and run this little server. Cool. So yeah, this is the hook. What is, I was getting an error yesterday, and this is a TypeScript error, but I think we're okay without this. So what does this do? This use connection hook actually returns multiple things or exports multiple things. One of them is a provider, which is a React context. So this connection provider, it's something that we need to wrap our app in. So if we go back, where is the connection provider being used? It's probably either in the layout. Yeah, there you go. So connection provider. So let's do that across our entire app because that makes sense. Will the imports work? Thank you very much. Okay, so we have the provider, which is basically a use state with these things. This is our backend for fetching the API token, which this is the is that where it's getting the API token from? I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. This is a Next.js app. Correctly, yeah, it's a Next.js app that has the API route to get us the token. It's not the Python server that is doing this. And yeah, it's returning this live key URL as well as this access token, which the client will use. Because in the response, we have access token and URL, access token and URL. Great. So in this case, we need to put this code into our little Next.js app. So let's do that for a moment, and because without this URL, this is not going to work. And I did have a native or React Native issue or Expo error yesterday when I enabled this. So let me just show it to you guys. If this is still running. Oh no, I stopped the bundler. Already disconnected. So we're getting some logs, but we shouldn't have a WebSocket URL or token because the connection did not work, or the connection did not start. So the provider. Oh, I wonder if the error was because it couldn't find the provider, so it couldn't find that. Ah, that was the error we're getting yesterday. There we go. So that was it. I forgot to add the provider. So not that we have a provider, a React context provider across the app. You guys can see that we should have this function, this data available. We can actually log if the useConnect boolean is true or false. Currently is false, so that's why it's not connecting, which makes sense to us. Let's actually just do the button first, and a little thing. So if should connect is false, it's false. We want to connect to let's say initiate the call. If it's false, I guess we are connected. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe there is a connecting state. Oh, and we have a connect and disconnect method. Perfect. I think that's the one used somewhere in the room component, hopefully. There's a connect button that doesn't receive a prop. So how does the connect button work on the playground example from LiveKit? So the actual on-click handler is this, and then it says disconnect, and disconnect comes from use connection. Oh, there you go. So yeah, that's really nice. So basically we just need to add connect and disconnect and sort of do that. We can create the same function, const if should connect is true, meaning are we connected, then disconnect when you press the button, otherwise connect. Initiate connection. What is initiate connection? Why are you using this? Because you're doing a try catch using a callback in order to I guess rerun this if you change some of the connection settings, I think. So we don't really need to do that. The connecting flag though, or state, why is he using connecting and set connecting? Oh, I see, because it starts saying when you initiate the connection, first set it to true, that it's connecting to true. So like it's like connecting, making the call, connecting to the server, blah blah. Once it finishes either successfully or unsuccessfully, set that to false, so we can disable the button. Very nice. That makes sense. Thank you for that logic. So we're gonna copy this state as well. Do I have used state? I'm gonna call it is connecting because it's a little bit more explicit of the boolean. Should connect, it's already, we have it from the use connection hook. And now we're gonna put this code in here. Set is connecting to true and then to false. That should be it. And now if should connect is true, which is not, oops, well done, disconnect. So when it's false, I want to go call me now. Yeah, at the beginning we are not connected, so we should say call me now. Now there's some error because of course we haven't set up our server. So let me just save this code because it's a good state. Yeah, I'm just gonna commit everything. This is live coding, guys. If you have any questions, you can contact me and we can figure things out if you are getting into issues, having any issues. So initial setup of live kit using this example use connection hook. That's nice. So we have here, we have this really cool system. So we have like this part which makes a connection. Let me just, before we switch to server, I want to see what else is in here. What's initiate connection flag for? Handle auth complete. Oh, so I guess once you're authenticated, immediately starts the call, or it sets up the connection. If it's connecting, show a loader, connecting, we can definitely do this and put a little mic icon once if you're not. Let me just check, how is this button? The button has a text, so it's not using children. So so it's not really meant for that at the moment. What button are they using? Just to be curious, just for curiosity. Is it also Shatsian kind of? Yeah, it looks like. But the way they do it is using for ref. If it's a child, use a slot, which a slot is this. Otherwise, use a button for this. I'm not sure that can help us much in our situation. It would be good to have this functionality though later on, all these variants. I wonder if class variance authority works for React Native. What are we using again? There's so many things. We're learning. Native wind. So I wonder if this works for native wind. So I'm just gonna write it down as a nice to do, nice to have. I think prettier is now fixed. For button, component, and similar. Cool. Yeah, so we have a button. What I was trying to just quickly do, always quickly is never quickly, is just display the word connecting if connecting or should connect is true. So I need a parenthesis. And otherwise the word connect or call me. Does that make sense now? If we put a little timeout here to make it wait a second when we press the button, we should see that it's connecting is true and this text should change. So if I do a quick wait, new promise, set wait, basically wait for 1 second and then resolve and then finish and then continue the execution. If I do that, and when I do that, the button is disabled and I try to press it and nothing happens. So that's really nice. So this works. And yeah, we can always make it more fancy, like adding a loader, adding a microphone icon. You know, the UI can always be improved once we have the backend or the functionality working, in my opinion. There's some show auth dialog because I wanted to do that in the playground, because here you're using your own API key. If the first time you open the page you press here like, hey, please enter the OpenAI API key. I just want to see what else we need in the, like, what are the next steps for our front end in order to make the call. Is that it? Is that really it? Or is there anything else? They have an auth component. What sounds interesting? We were checking out the room component initially. This room component shows us, uses the use connection hook, which are basically doing all of that ourselves. You can add a class because I guess you have that. You have some context provider. You have the transcript on the right hand side. I don't think we need a transcript. Maybe in the future will be nice to get the text popping up here if it's transcribed quickly, and if somebody wants to use this to learn English or another language, live transcription of the AI text, of the AI voice would be interesting, but for now I think definitely for now we're not going to use this. Start audio, click allow audio playback. Start audio, what is the start audio component? Oh, it's a component that they have, which we're most likely not going to use, right? What is audio session? Oh, this was the call. No, what is this? Is start the audio session first. So this is inside of the specific actual tab of the call now screen, and yeah, we don't have tracks. We have this. This is in the layout. Track reference or placeholders. Maybe this was in the use connection hook. No, where are you guys using this? You're not. So I guess I got that example code from here, from the Expo plugin. Yes, track reference or placeholder. It's a type to render this or this. It would be nice that if they included a screenshot of how the example app looks like, because maybe they're doing audio and video simple app, and I don't want to do that, so maybe I don't need that. Nevertheless, it's good to have an example app. Which version of Expo 50 we are on? Look at the quantity of our package apps, package JSON apps, package JSON files. 52, I think we're bleeding edge. So when you look at that and then you say, oh, this is how they did it, things might have changed. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, let me just run this code and see. I don't think I need that, because I'm doing basically this is a one-on-one call. If there was multiple people in live stream, you're kind of doing a Google Meet clone or a Zoom clone on the web or React Native. You might want to display everybody who's available on the call. Okay, for now, this is not doing anything, and if it is, we're not getting any error message. So yeah, I don't even know if this should be committed, but more client feature. Okay, so let's say we have the first version of the use connection. It's gonna fetch /API. One second, I think we need to look at how it's good to specify that. Okay, they don't have an example, so we need to start the server, right? So we're gonna go to Next.js, npm or pnpm run dev. So this should start our server, but we're missing some variables. We don't have these variables, so I'm gonna take them out for now because I just want to make first I don't even know if this is the right way to name this, but so if I take this out, would it allow me to restart the server? It needs the Postgres API key. Yes, we do need that, and I do have that, which is in oops. Oops. Just gonna get the API key. Sorry, one second. Just don't want to show you my URL live, so you guys don't mess up with my database on Supabase. And later on we're going to deploy this on Vercel, at least definitely the Next.js web server and landing page. So in that case, the mobile app that is live, it's going to connect to our Next.js server in order to get that API URL and token. The WebSocket URL and the token will be returned by our little server that connects directly to LiveKit. So I'm just adding that Postgres URL that it's complaining about in my env file. And I need to do that, I need to get that on Supabase. Do I have it open? I'll show you guys in 1 minute. Where is the connection? Where is the URL? Where is the URL? Connection string to the primary database. App frameworks. Are we using Supabase.js? No, because this is a more traditional, let's say, setup, because we are using Drizzle. Everybody loves a bit of Drizzle. Drizzle, whizzle, mizzle. So I'm gonna put this here. guys can see, I'm adding I thought this is committed. Where is the Next.js? Oh yeah, this file. We need to put the Postgres URL in the Next.js project, let's say. But the real one actually goes on my .env file. They don't give me a password. So I need to figure out now where is the password. Where could the password be? Somewhere in authentication? No, that's user authentication, I think. Sorry, I can't show you guys this because otherwise my Supabase password will be leaked. But it shouldn't be that complicated to find the password for this, so you can connect directly. For security reasons, your password is never shown. Well, at some point you need to show me. Otherwise, how the hell will I connect? I think, right? Okay, actually they do have a drizzle example here. Upcoming API keys are coming in Q4. Read the announcement. Okay, I want more guide the announcement, but anyway, give me the announcement. Upcoming changes to Supabase API keys. Oh, today will not be released because it needs further development. Okay, so nothing is changing. My question is, where the hell is my password? In order to log in the data and connect to the database directly, please. In MongoDB, Atlas is so much easier. Just sends me to the API docs. All right, Supabase Postgres password. Where do I find this, please? To get to your project direct string, go to settings, database, connection string, which doesn't exist anymore. It's called connect, I think. Make sure display connection pooler is unchecked. Connect something pooler is unchecked. Wow, this is a bit more difficult than I thought it would be to get a password that I put for my connection string. This is helpful? No. Out of date. Where do I get the password? guess I will have to either ask for help, ask on Discord, come back later. I'm sure I'm missing something simple on the UI dashboard. They have access roles, but these are roles. They have access policies. If you want to have like low row level security policies, which I don't at the moment. I just want to access everything. Please. They sometimes really need to come back to the really basics and make sure the basics work. If the basics work, people will be happy. You'll get more users than paying users. If you cannot set up, in 10 minutes and get the connection URL because you've moved things around, you rename things, it's gonna be pretty difficult. Does it say is your password? So is it actually my account password? Oh, that's the password you set up at the beginning when you create a new database. OMG. OMG. Okay. I save that now. Let's run the server, shall we? I don't know if it is working because I don't know what it does at the beginning. If it tries to find a users or anything at the beginning, probably nothing at the beginning. And also this is new for me, this TRPC, drizzle, so we're all learning together. And there's a middleware, and then we have the API routes for auth and TRPC. And I think the way it works is based on what you do /TRPC/ blah blah blah. It will do and will run the specific code that is defined somewhere. Yeah, it's nice they abstract a lot of things, and maybe I'm jumping board and going too ahead of myself and learning too many things at once. But what is a challenge if it's not a challenging learning curve? So for now, we're not going to use TRPC. I think we don't need to for such a basic, give me the token, give me a URL. I'm going to do a normal API Next.js route. I guess we just need to install the server SDK. Let's call this live kit. No. Auth token. This is a connection token. It's a WebRTC. Let's call it live kit because it's specifically for live kit, or call auth, or call. Let's ask our AI friends. Sometimes our friends. What should I call a API route that is used by a client to get the live kit WebSocket connection URL and token. Yes, sorry, I don't want to use the O1 model because first of all I don't have access, and also it's too expensive. I want to use Claude. Anthropic seems to be the best so far at the moment. Could be live kit and tokens, connection, something more generic without live kit. Audio, real-time audio, audio session. Yeah, maybe just live kit token, so it's okay. We don't have to think about this too much. So do we want a path? In theory, we'll need more things in the future. So as I said, we're gonna have a Python server that actually does the audio streaming, and this is just in order to start the connection and give the client some basic data to start the connection for the client to connect directly to and be securely. So it's like audio connection, it's audio token, audio auth. Why am I thinking so much about this? Let's just use, what did the AI said? That I kind of like live kit / tokens. Live kit token. Okay, and inside of here we're gonna have a route.ts. And now I'm gonna copy the data. We're gonna install the package, the server package, npm install live kit server SDK. We are using playground state for what? He was using the live in the playground state, which we call it something else in the client. Live kit state. So he wants to access this because the type, sorry, it's a type. Okay. Can you share types between? I guess not really, right? I can't just call it live kit state and magically things will work, and imports don't work. Because it's in the Expo folder, this is in the Next.js folder. So can I make the font bigger? Yeah, in the right hand side as well, so it's easier for you guys to read. I'll try not to show anything in this corner, but yeah, it is what it is. So we are the use connection hook. Oh yeah, it does make a post API call with what we are sending, which is basically are sending this, which is the configuration from the client in terms of the voice we want to use, OpenAI model, which I don't know if the client should specify that. It shouldn't. Fix me, the client should not select the model, that server should. Yes, it should. So we post that to the server. We get that JSON, extract type alias, TS ignore, fix this later. I guess to just do the any and just string or unknown, even to be more generic, and we're gonna leave that there. And why is this still? Oh, this is an ESLint issue. Oh my god, we're gonna do the entire file because I don't like squiggly red lines. Turn detection does not exist in type unknown. Okay, let's do any. And I guess we need an ESLint ignore for this. And then we need a little bit more API keys from LiveKit. We need an API LiveKit, API secret live, API key. So I'm gonna set up those in a second. And the reason this is instead to ensure validate types. Is that a new way of doing that? And also is not listed in the turbo. So I guess that is true. We should probably do that. How do we do that correctly? There is definitely a way to do that. Turbo pack, turbo build, pack, or repo, sorry, and then API, no, environmental variables. Adding environmental variables to task hashes. To do this, use env and global env keys. Global env changes the value of any environment variables, include changes to the values that affect the task. We already have global env. Yes, we do. But it's not really global. It's per application. So I think I'm gonna put it here. And this is the Next.js one, so we need a live kit one, the secret, and also the Postgres. Property extends is not allowed. Currently it's the only variable allowed. I don't know, but nobody is complaining about it at the moment, so I think that's okay. Did I install the package? I did. Do we need anything else in this route? This access token is from LiveKit server, not corresponding type declarations. Let's restart the language server and see if now the types are here. I think it did work, but now we're getting, yeah, these things. Okay, so let's try to do that. That's in proper way of doing it. So where is Vercel pull request key or auth secret? What? So it's reading Postgres URL, but it's not reading my LiveKit. Let me see, where did I put that? That for some reason is not. Oh, there we go. I found it. So it's here. So I believe I need to put these two variables in here. And that will make TypeScript happy here. Nice. Very nice. And also when I start the server, it will check that these variables are loaded. Specify your server-side environment variables schema here. This way you can ensure the app isn't built with invalid environmental variables. Very nice. And it separates the server ones with the client ones, because client, you always need to put public before them in order for them to load and be available. And since it's available in the browser, you never want to put real secret API keys or those kind of access credentials, because that will, if you put, for example, the OpenAI key here, then somebody can just inspect the browser on your website, get the API key and use it as yours and rank a lot of usage and credits. So now that we have that, I need to actually put those things. So 1 second while I do that. Those are the LiveKit API keys. Where's my dashboard? I can put this back here. Do I have a LiveKit thing now? Going to sign in with Google. You never remember who did you log in with, right? Okay. So actually you need to create a new project. I'll show you 1 second this part as well, or I'll just trying to get the API key, so trying to do it a little quicker while not showing you the actual API key. Oh, by the way, I was thinking about or asking ChatGPT some ideas for names. Um, um, Rise AI? No, I don't want the word AI in it. It's overused. Wakemate? Glow Rise? No, Glow never use Glow. Morning Boost. Rise Up. Either Rise Up or Wake Buddy was my best one so far. Okay, I'm gonna quickly get the API keys and the WebSocket URL. Oh no, I don't. There's a WebSocket URL and an API key. Oh, maybe the WebSocket is automatically generated from the SDK, or because I'm also have a WebSocket URL. Let me just show you guys the dashboard without showing you actually API key. So I basically pull this in the .env file. So this can be read. Should be a string now. String and string. And ESLint is wrong because they are not strings. They are not strings or undefined. So ignore this, ESLint, stupid. Yes, you are a human talking. We can do this. We don't have to do that in JavaScript. If it's the same max output tokens comes from there. Yeah, we need to rename this. OpenAI key. It's OpenAI key. OpenAI key is required, but not from. It's not going to come from the client now. Where is the state? Live kit state. OpenAI key. Yeah, there's no OpenAI key in here. The OpenAI key is a new environment variable actually, and that we need to put in the server. OpenAI API key. And I need to do the same where we added that as a required variable for our process. So we don't need to add this check anymore because the server is not going to start without an OpenAI key. And see, now TypeScript will tell us, hey, you define that in your env.ts file, which creates this thing, and when we import this file and this constant will have this thing, because when this is going to execute and run and try to put this environmental variable in that and check that it's a string, not and also check invalidate things. Let me just check before quickly here. It's gonna give us an error. Yes, yeah, very nice. So if there is an error with the it's not what you specify, because Z is, or Zod can validate the schema, basically can validate if this is a string of type URL, and I said I left there that it's a URL, which is not a URL, it's just a long string. You can actually even specify how long it should be. Then it tells you, hey, you have a variable, but it's invalid. So maybe you put the wrong thing, and it's telling you, hey, you forgot to put the OpenAI API key. So it's gonna tell me, hey, you forgot the OpenAI key, which I know I did. So we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. Before I add the API key, I want to finish checking that we have a room name. Live kit URL. Oh, so we do need a live kit URL. We don't need to check things because we have them. We also need so we do need this string and URL, and that's where it's called. It's a WebSocket. So you go here, and this is the live kit dashboard. So we'll be able to see how many people connect to it, how much bandwidth, how many users, rooms. I guess that's our individual calls. We have some kind of sandbox, token server, video conference. Yeah, because you can build a lot of cool things with LiveKit. And this is a Next.js thing. Oh, they have a LiveKit CLI. Interesting. Node multimodal agent, Python voice pipeline agent. You can build a lot of nice stuff. And test your setup. What is LiveKit Meet? I guess this is like an alternative open source conferencing app built on LiveKit Cloud. I guess this works. I just need to maybe this doesn't work really well on Firefox. Some live video streaming things don't really work well on Firefox for some reason. But yeah, that's the sandbox here as well. Some settings for the project. Audio encodings limits, and of course you will have the billing here. Ingresses are something. Egress is something that it comes out, I guess. And sessions are the live sessions, video or audio. But yeah, let me just get the URL. Of the WebSocket, put it into my env file, and also since I'm here, let me put the OpenAI key so the actual server will run and it won't complain. And I'm gonna generate a new API key just for this project. So if some reason something happens, and there's a lot of usage because I didn't put limits or didn't or something like that, I can always just close or remove or block that API key, and it doesn't gonna affect any other project. And even you can even create now projects in OpenAI's dashboard, so that can be helpful to monitor individually that project and that usage. So I'm gonna create a new secret. This is Next.js server token for this project. Copy that key, paste it. Now these keys are quite longer, I guess technically more secure, and that's it. From that point of view, I'm just gonna run the server, see if it doesn't complain anymore about environmental variables. It's not. That's very good. Okay, so we have more setup done, and I don't see any issues here. And this, remember, it's our live kit dash token route that is going to be posted by our mobile app in order to get that token. So let's try that, and if that works, we can stop today and continue tomorrow. Live kit dash token. And of course you can also use manual do an API locally manually. Now that we have free Google Copilot, GitHub Copilot, yeah, now that we have no subscription, I think there's a way to reset this. I'm sure people are already asking to Zed, hey, how can I get the GitHub Copilot chat and GitHub Copilot assistant in Zed editor for free, please? I think it's called either assistant, yeah. Inline completions, I want them. I think, yeah, this is the provider. So if I take this out, and I don't want Super Maven, I want GitHub. Sorry, I'm just a little curious to know if this works. Yes, authorize. Waiting for connection. From where? You need to be logged in. Okay, I'll log in. Copilot is enabled. I think it's enabled. Maybe I need to restart. Must have an active subscription. Not anymore. Maybe they need to make some changes. So if I want to make a new AI chat, can I use GitHub Copilot? No. Can I use GitHub Copilot here? How do you specify? No. Okay, so they probably need to update Zed to enable this. So yeah, we don't have auto completion, or we do. Maybe we do. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted just to make this call from the client, specifying this, sending that, and finally making the connection. Hopefully at least the connection will work. I don't know if the audio will actually work, but maybe, you never know. Let's see some logs of the server. When this happens, it crashes. Whoa. So it's connecting. And then it crashes. Oh, I think that's what, no, I don't know. This is something that we saw yesterday. Somebody raised a bug, but then there is something and some crash. I mean, I think it's not the greatest place to leave us, but you know, it is connecting to the server. It returned status 200, means that the server did return both an access key, an access token, and a URL. This is always the same, but this access token is the one that this access token, is it a class? Yeah, it's a class that it returns. So it goes to basically LiveKit server and say, hey, can I get a URL? And it gets this very massive URL in order for the specific client to connect to my LiveKit cloud project, but the client crashed. I'm gonna try just one more time to see if it crashes again. Probably will. Yeah. So it does crash. It does crash. So I'm pretty sure I didn't. It's not my It's not me doing this, causing this crash. By the way, if you get this kind of Mac or Apple crashes, it's really hard to understand. But I'm pretty sure if you put this into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you give me some information about what this error crash is? Some technical information about what this crash, or what's the cause this crash. It's my mobile iOS app I'm developing. And let's see if it helps you. No, it doesn't help you. Okay, let's copy that and use Claude. Because Claude is better, as a lot of people in the internet seem to be saying. And Z is really good as well, because it allows you to use this and just use the API key, connect directly. Missing privacy permissions. Oh, okay, where did you see that? The app has crashed because it attempted to access privacy sensitive data without usage description. Nice. So I need to add a microphone usage description. Oh, so it tries to add. It tries to start. It tries to use the microphone, and iOS says no, you don't have permission. I'm gonna break or crash the app. Okay, that's one way of handling things. So how do I do this in Expo? How to remove permissions? No, how to add permissions. Do I have this file in the info? of my iOS. So technically, yes. Plist. No, I wanted some formatting. I mean, it's very similar to XML. You don't have XML support. Okay, where exactly do I put this microphone usage description? Can I ask again my friend AI? Where add the key? I guess it's better to open Xcode to do this, but the thing is, like, these files are not in the GitHub repo, so how do I add iOS permissions permanently? Permissions. I'm gonna go and turn this off. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. So in the app.json, we have a thing called Android permissions or iOS permissions, and then it will manage those things, because if you do those manually, you might lose those things. To receive a call. I wonder how this works for multilingual, because in theory these strings can be translated when you make an iOS app, but if it's all in English, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. You have variables. So that means we are going to have to rebuild stuff, build iOS. Run iOS, no, run start, run. We need to run. If you run, then you run. This means it's gonna build the app again and add that permission, that microphone permission, because if you change any of the native files, basically you need to build again. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because unless you are in Xcode and you press run, and that is gonna do a very quick installation of the app, you need to do this again. But hopefully things are cached, and if things are cached, things will be faster. I'm just gonna try to make this work. Once this works and we, for some reason, the microphone works, and even able to, no, it's not gonna connect to the AI part, but at least it shouldn't give me an error. It should connect at least all the way to Expo, live kit servers. Basically this part, we're getting this part to work. The next part, in tomorrow's session, we're gonna build a backend in Python for the agent to connect to actually OpenAI. So this in theory should work. Get the API, get the token, the access token to connect to LiveKit, so that our mobile app connects to LiveKit. but it's crashing again. Now it's crashing because that's the exactly thing I did, that I added. Did it update the file? I don't see it. Why did you not update the file? I wonder why this not got updated. Didn't get updated. So once you change permissions or add permissions, what do you have to do? Changes in the cannot be updated over the air, and they will need to be deployed, exactly, blah blah blah. But then in order, when testing in Expo, you can delete the app and restyle by running export start, I guess. But it did. If it didn't update the file, then it did the app update, but it didn't actually do anything. It didn't make the changes. So let's have a look. To install the app, please make and install a developed build, or A in the so that's the wrong thing you told me. Thank you. Oh yeah, I definitely don't need the Progress URL in the Expo. So let's just check again. Is the info plist file updated with microphone description, please? Why are you not adding the description? Am I putting it in the wrong place in the what's it called, in the app.js file? It's not types, so at the root they have iOS. Oh, that's not it. Where? What? Plugins and iOS. And why do I have Expo here but not here? I'm gonna put it in both places, so here and here, and say, will that magically make it work? Does it tell you what it does in the build? Is there like a verbose flag to get information a little bit about the build? Because I'm pretty sure it's still not doing what I want to do, which is add that yeah, there's no microphone in anything here. Microphone. So it's gonna crash again. And when you do that, the build, it doesn't say anything. Root level Expo object found, ignoring extra key Expo iOS. Okay, so that doesn't go there. There's a link, thank you. Migrating from root. Previous version of still encouraged to have users. This extraneous object contained when support blah, blah, blah were added became optional. So basically we don't need to do that anymore. I guess it still works, but we don't need to because it's the only one that it's there. Resolution. Migrating. Remove the extraneous Expo object. A warning will be printed informing you to remove the root level name and display name. Name and display name. I don't think we have display name. 9. And in theory, the iOS 1 inside of iOS will have info plist, correct, and inside of here we have things like microphone, or this is where do we put this? Microphone usage description. I think that's where we do. I'm gonna try again to build this once again. If not, I'll just open Expo and modify this file, make the build again. If this doesn't work, we'll continue tomorrow nevertheless, because we are here until we build this and we launch this and we make a lot of users unhappy or one person happy. So did this the thing here? A microphone? No, it's not here. So if it's not here, I press call, it crashes. Okay, so let's open. Let's go to the iOS folder and Expo or open call me workspace. So the workspace is the file that Expo uses to configure your iOS app. Sort of, that's where the main things are. And it's actually a directory. See the D file, the D thing, it means it's a directory, and inside there's a bunch of files, but you don't need to really care about that. But sometimes in Expo you need to do this, open actually Xcode and modify things manually, like this microphone functionality or microphone permission. So we need to open the list, the info plist file, and the best way to do this is to click, where did you click again? Yeah, oh yeah, I think you have to click this little thing, NS, or maybe if you type microphone, no. If I click this, yeah, it will. You could have selected privacy, microphone, description, usage. I'm gonna put what this was here. Type this, and this is where actually you can localize. So if somebody with, let's say, a Spanish phone, so the OS is set up to Spanish, they open your app and you localize this, when they get the prompt, hey, do you want to approve or give access to your microphone, you can change you can change the text that appears to them. And since that's basically what I wanted to do, now it's here, I'm gonna actually copy the relative path and commit this, because even though it's not at the moment, this will be helpful for anybody who's gonna use this, and me even in the future. So git add and then this file, and I think we might need to force in order to actually add this file. Yeah, no, oh yeah, it's already added. Very nice, cool. So now that it's done, I can probably build from here and just say build it for the iPhone SE. This is how you build an app, and hopefully it should be the same process that Expo does. Maybe not, we'll see in a second. And we're gonna have to generate an image for the app icon. That would be, of course, using AI, because that's what we do. We use AI to make an AI app in order for people who like AI to use your app. So it is building. Maybe I should have used Expo. But in theory they should be the same, because Expo does run something like an can't remember the command line, but it's x something build launching. Okay, so the build succeeded. Developer tools need access to control too. Okay. Maybe it doesn't really work exactly, because that thing that does the auto refresh, I don't know where is that coming from exactly. So let's close this, stop this please. Finished running. Okay, thanks. And now I'm gonna do it again from the Expo command line. I need to get rid of this in Expo. So yeah, we're building this. We're almost at the end of today's session. Yeah, these things always happen, or these things you have to set up. So this is like one of the first parts you need to do once you add any native functionality, like getting access to the microphone. This is not gonna actually work today, because it's not gonna connect all the way to OpenAI and get the actual voice back. But at least I want this to work and not crash when I press the call me now button, because now we have the little server running. Anyway, press here. Oh, there you go. That's the message we have that we put on our thing, on our info playlist file. This is exactly the same text. This app requires access to your microphone to receive a call. Oh, to receive a call. So there's a little typo. We can fix that later. And now it says connecting. We have a bunch of things. We cannot make UI sound render. I don't know what that means, but at least it didn't crash. What does it say here? Publish audio with encodings, local track, published active device changed, participant human, we have a room ID, and I guess actually if we can go to the LiveKit dashboard, we should see that somebody either is online or has connected if they have real-time dashboards. Where are the things here? Maybe in sessions. There we go. We have one active participant and our little app is connecting and connected. So I don't know where and how the microphone works on the iPhone simulator, and definitely we want a little animation here to show you that your microphone is working and we are listening to you in the same way as ChatGPT voice mode. When you press, it does this kind of circle animation as you talk. I want to have the same
Sure,
thing.
I can slow down my speech. How can I help you today?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What would you like to talk about?
¿Hablas en español, por favor?
Claro, puedo hablar en español. ¿En qué te puedo ayudar hoy?
Puedes hablar en español pero con un acento mexicano y dime una historia sobre un pequeño perrito.
Claro que sí. Había una vez un perrito muy curioso que vivía en un pequeño pueblo. Siempre exploraba cada rincón y un día encontró un jardín lleno de flores mágicas. Desde ese momento...
Gracias. Adiós.
De nada.
Yeah, so that little circle animation, we can do that tomorrow once the microphone works, once the audio goes all the way from here to there, from the mobile app to LiveKit to our server to OpenAI. So we actually, in 4 parts, in about 8 hours, I guess, most likely I'm the only one who has developed a little mobile app that connects to LiveKit's cloud server. You can actually, you don't have to use LiveKit apparently, you can use some open source server as long as it's WebRTC. Then you need your backend, the little Python code that we found here that we're gonna use. They call it agent. And then this connects to OpenAI, or I believe any other, large language model that does real-time voice. So yeah, I'm actually gonna add this little image while I'm here, if you guys are still listening, to their repo. For those who are still here. So I'm gonna add, no, I did not want to do that. Oh, guts. Why did I move the file, the whole folder? I don't want to move the folder, I just wanted to, god damn it. Copy the path. Move everything back. Yeah, of course it crashed, everything went to bananas. Stop. This probably crashed, the server probably crashed, everything crashed. Anyway, I'll fix that myself. This is something I made a mistake. I just want to save that little file into the repo, please, called LiveKit diagram, and because why the SVG? Copy image link. Is it an SVG? Oh, it's an SVG. Well then, save the SVG as SVG, please. A 40K SVG. Wow. Are you sure we cannot make it smaller? I mean, there are things, but I'm sure it can be optimized. See? From this is a very cool website called SVG OMG, and it compressed our SVG file from 69 kilobytes to 37, so more than 53%. And you can even try to tweak it a little bit and see original and not, and see if you able even to so there's no images, it's all lines and things, but I guess even 50% smaller is better. Not that we are serving this for any performance or SEO purposes, but nevertheless, it's all good, always good to do that. JBus. I just want to commit add info plist file for the microphone permission with the correct. No, it didn't do that. Anyway, I'll commit this, I'll push this. A lot of things have broken because I moved files around without wanting this. And yeah, tomorrow is Friday, and we'll continue tomorrow, Friday, December 20th, 2024. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you are watching this in another time of the year, hopefully this is useful for you, and see how potentially you can learn how to make a React Native app, a little server. We're gonna learn and write a little Python code for our AI agent to connect to OpenAI and do the real-time voice. It's really copy and paste, I believe, is 300 lines of code, but majority is something that we don't really do much about. Probably run multimodal agent is just using some API, OpenAI, real-time thing that they provide. Oh yeah, we have the transcription here. What is RCT? I'll leave you guys go in a second. I just wanted to, of course it's different, it's not a live call, you can, but okay, so it does the transcription part. Something about a toast on the server, it's interesting. On input speech started, transcription completed, transcription failed. So it's a bunch of events that happen when you do, not the majority or the main thing that you're actually setting up is this real-time model. And then you have this multi-model agent, they call it here assistant, and this is the assistant that processes the data that comes from the WebRTC. So when you run this main file, you run the CLI run app function, with all the workers stuff. And since they say this is more production ready than the JavaScript Node.js SDK, we're gonna believe them, and yeah. So yeah, we'll continue tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we'll actually have a real-time voice going back and forth from our little app to all the way to OpenAI servers, and we'll use our hard-coded voice, but maybe we'll even have a voice selector on the app. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, send me a message, leave a comment. También hablo español o italiano si quieres aprender a desarrollar. Se vuoi imparare a sviluppare, ti posso aiutare. Yeah, happy Christmas everybody. See you tomorrow.